Hey, 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 Better Club. Lachelle Weemy here. I am so excited that I get a chance to join you on another Tuesday Live where we get a chance to figure out together ways to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business. And I am so stinking glad that you're here. So if you are tuning in live on the YouTube channel, I wanted to say hey. And if you are here inside of the Facebook group, I want to say hello as well. If you're brand new to either one of them, shout out to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We just love, love, love helping new people live out their very, very best life. So if you guys over on YouTube want a little bit more intimacy, a little bit more connection, a little more inspiration in your feed every day, then come on over to the Facebook group. We'd love to have you. Okay. Now, tonight, we are going to talk all about decisions and making decisions and the power of decisions. Okay. And you might have heard me say before that the people that are in my tribe that like really, really want to take this seriously are kind of my diamond club. That's what I call them. And it's because they consistently choose the 3 Ds. And I'm going to tell you what those are real quick, and then we're going to get into the power of decision. Okay. So the 3 Ds, the first one is desire. You recognize that somewhere inside of you, you desire better. Now, this does not mean that you desire, to quit your job and travel around the world, or maybe it just means that you desire like a little bit more time to yourself instead of being with your kids all the time. Maybe you desire to be with your kids a little bit more because you're working all the time. Maybe you desire just to be able to buy the stinking pair of shoes when you're at DSW instead of having to feel guilty about it. Maybe you desire to completely change your career and you want to do something different that lights your soul on fire. Whatever that is, guys, there's no judgment around that. It's literally just a recognition that you want something better, okay? Better in your life. You're meant for more. You're meant for something different, okay? Now, that's the first D, desire. The second D is to decide. You make the decision to do what it takes. You make the decision to learn the things. You make the decision to meet the people. You make the decision that there are no other options. And when you do that, it literally is like you flipped a switch and everything else falls in line. I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight in more detail. And then the third thing is the do. It's the implementation. It's the getting into action. It's this doing what you say you're going to do, right? It is so stinking hard for us to be consistent from time to time. And I really think that it's in the doing that things really start to take shape because we are having integrity with our word. And I think what I'm going to do, guys, just because I feel so strongly about that, is that I'm going to talk to you a little bit more next week about the doing. But tonight we're going to talk about the deciding because I want to share a little bit about my own story right now and a conversation that I had with my husband earlier today. Okay. So when we decide, it really does change everything and changes everything on the outside of us and it changes the inside. Okay. What do I mean by that? When I get nerdy and I talk about brain science, guys, our inside world has to match our outside world, meaning that the programming, the way that we visualize, the perceptions, the filter in which we perceive the world is inside our heads, right? Our subconscious is the filter in which we perceive the things around us. And our outside world really has to match our inside world, which is why it's like if something doesn't make sense in our outside world, we try to figure it out so that it matches the paradigm or the programming or the belief system that we have inside of our brains. Okay. I hope that makes sense. And so our outside world has to match our inside world. When we make a decision, we are making the decision to change something that is going to disrupt or possibly just kind of shake up that inside paradigm. And that's why it's so hard sometimes to make the decisions because now all of a sudden we're purposefully making our outside world not match our inside world. And we have this uncomfortableness like, oh, I don't like that. And that's where that comfort zone comes in. It doesn't feel right because it's not matching what we know to be true. And we're purposefully putting ourselves out there in a situation that does not match that. And it feels icky and uncomfortable. And that's why so oftentimes, even though our comfort zone isn't always comfortable, it's the icky in between of not knowing that feels really, really uncomfortable because it's a time where our outside world is not matching our inside world. Okay. But when we can make the decision, it basically is telling ourselves that we're going to stick it out even in that messy middle. We're going to stick it out until we can reprogram or change the inside belief and programming inside of ourselves. Okay. Now, in doing that, we're going to start to change then both our outside world around us and what we see in the inside world and our belief and what we think is possible. Okay. So give you an example. My husband and I have been talking about this big dream that I have. We've been talking about this dream that I want to travel around the country with my family. And I want to take the entire summer off. I want to buy or rent an RV and I want to travel the country. So if you guys follow me at all, you know that I love to travel. I am a like small town farm girl, you guys. I grew up in a small town in Minnesota. Like the closest town to my farm was 200 people. Every town in small town America, it has a post office, a bar, and a church, and that's pretty much it, right? And so that's how I grew up. And I didn't know travel. I didn't know what it was like to go out and do cool things because my parents farmed, so which meant that they didn't have anybody to do chores or look after the animals, and so we really couldn't go anywhere, nor did we have the funds. So my parents really, really did their best to raise us and give us what we needed, but we definitely did not have extra. So going on a vacation was not even like in my paradigm, right? So my programming was, if I'm going to spend money, it's going to be on something tangible that I can sit on or wear, right? It's not going to be on a vacation, because that, like, what can I show for that? Right? That's how I grew up. My husband actually, for my Valentine's Day gift one year in college, had got me a plane ticket to go to LA. And from Minnesota, like that was a big deal, guys. The first time I was on a plane was when I was in college. And I caught the bug of seeing the world around me and recognizing that this world is so beautiful and I want to be able to see it. And so that's when I really caught the bug. And so I just love travel. And so even though I didn't have a lot of money, I've done things my whole life to try to make that a reality. So for example, I recruited for the Mayo Clinic nursing department for years, where they traveled, they sent me all over the United States. And I basically talked to nursing students and told them about the nursing department at the Mayo Clinic. Like that was a way that I could work and travel. That's one example. I've been doing anesthesia speaking around the country for 15 years. That's another way. I was working, but I was traveling the country, going to the most beautiful places and teaching anesthesia while I was seeing all of these amazing places. So it's something that I've always wanted to do. Now, my job has been a situation where I couldn't, as of late, get very much time off. And so for me, being able to travel for, a couple of months in an RV and take my family around the country, like that did not seem like a realistic goal, right? Like that is not going to happen. I can't get the time off. I can't even get a random day of vacation here and there. What makes me think that I can have 3 months off to travel around the country? Now, another point in this is that my son is 13. So pretty soon he's not going to want to talk to me or be seen with me. And so I recognize that the window of this happening is very, very, very low. Okay. And so what I did was I had to at least voice my decision. I wanted to voice my desire to my husband and say, hey, this is a dream that I have. Like, we've gone to these amazing national parks lately, and I really want to see the world. And I want to show my kids what the world is made of. I want them to see all of these beautiful places. I want them to know that they exist. I want to be there to watch their faces. I want to spend the time with them. I want to do this. And so I think me just acknowledging that desire and voicing it to my husband was the first step. Okay. So I'm doing that. And even telling you guys today, like, it feels like, now I really have to make this happen. But sometimes that's part of it too, is just like sharing your desires with somebody makes it real. And it allows for that decision to be made to take on its own life form. Okay. So recognize the desire, voicing the desire, and really just acknowledging it, that if you really want this and you make the decision, everything else is going to fall into place. Now, what do I mean by that? So this morning, my husband and I were talking, and I'm like, I really do want to make this happen. Like, I really do want to see if we can try to find a way to travel the country next summer with the kids. And he's like, yeah, we'll just kind of see how it goes. And it was like, oh my gosh, I need to do tonight's training on this, because I said to him, well, what we need to do is we need to make the decision. And then we make all the decisions around that will support that. And that's, you guys, what I mean by making the decision. When we choose to make the decision in our business, in our career, in our family, whatever our marriage, whatever it may be. It's making that initial decision first, and then you make all the decisions around that that are going to support that decision. That's the difference. It's like, okay, I want this to happen, but you have to commit it to a point where you're making all of the tiny decisions around it that are going to be in line with it. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the story about burning the boats, but there was an Spanish exploration back in the 1500s where this captain literally was trying to conquer, I believe it was Mexico, and his team, the sailors that were sailing with him were exhausted, and he knew that he needed to motivate them in some way. So when they reached land, he was told them that they needed to burn the boats. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, we either conquer the island or conquer the land and take their boats, or we die. Like, there was no in between. So every decision that those guys made when they got there were in line with the fact that, holy crap, we do not have another way home. And so he made the decision to burn the boats. And every other decision around that was in alignment with that decision. And so when you start to just make that acknowledgement that this is what my desire is, and you make that decision, so now all of your other decisions have to fall in line with that one. Okay? That's the power of it. So if you make the decision that you want to be able to quit your job and you want to do your business full time, that decision has to be your primary decision, your North Star. And then all of the decisions that you make around that are going to be in alignment and consistent with that decision. So that might mean that, okay, I'm really tired tonight and I just don't feel like working my business, but I've made the decision that I'm going to quit my job by the end of next year. So that decision was consistent with that North Star. And so, you know what? I am going to spend, 15 minutes and get caught up on these messages. Or, I, really do want to hit my next level in my company. And, but I'm scared, or I just don't have the time, or whatever. It's like, okay, no. I make the decision that I'm going to hit this rank by this day. That's my decision. So every other decision that I make has to be in alignment with that. Maybe I need to get up a little bit earlier. Maybe I need to stay up a little bit later. Maybe I need to be more efficient during my coffee break or my lunch break at work. Maybe I need to start getting over myself and being afraid of talking about my business or posting on social media. Maybe I need to just follow what the coaches are telling me to do and do it. All of the decisions are going to be circling around that main decision. And if that's a desire, guys, you make the decision, everything else falls into place, but you have to make the decision. You have to freaking burn the boats. So I'm going to tell you that this is like the first time that I'm sharing this live. I literally just told my colleagues yesterday, but I have officially resigned from my 20-year career as a nurse anesthetist at this most amazing medical facility in the world. Honestly, like, it's number one in the nation right now. And I made that decision. And my ultimate goal is to be able to coach and help people live out their lives to the fullest. My goal is to be able to go back to speaking on stages, but this time doing it in a way that allows me to fully live out my passion, which is to help other people reach their potential. I want to be able to work one-on-one with my clients and do CEO days where I get to teach them exactly what to do and how to recognize their barriers and their blind spots and give them a strategy to get to where they want to go really fast. That lights me up. I love taking care of my patients, but I needed the time flexibility. So currently what I've decided to do is I have taken a travel anesthesia position that is going to allow me to work when I want to. And it actually gives me the opportunity to be able to take next summer off if I so choose to. And so my husband and I were talking, and I'm like, okay, so if we make the decision that we are going to make this happen, I'm going to be able to start looking for RV options. I'm going to start asking people, where are the must-see places to go around the United States? Where are the best places to camp? I'm going to have to start thinking, okay, well, maybe instead of, 1 week a month working in anesthesia at this travel position, maybe I will work 2 weeks a month so that we can build up enough income so that I know for sure that I don't have to worry at all about working while I'm on the road and I can just see my coaching clients, right? Like there's all of these decisions that can fall into place, but it starts with the one. It starts with burning the boats. It starts with declaring that this is a desire that I want to have. And instead of, we'll just see, it's like, no, okay, let's make the decision. Like we're going to do this. And then we're going to make the decisions that are going to be consistent with that decision to make it happen. It happens in life, guys. It happens in relationships. It happens in business. But we have to recognize the desire, guys, and we have to make the decision. Next week, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to talk about the doing and how to get consistent. And truly, I believe that the Diamond Club, the 3Ds do fall into succession. You have to recognize the desire first. I literally, that is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me to travel the country with my kids and see all of these amazing national parks. Like who wouldn't want that? I want to be able to teach people and coach people when I want to from wherever I am and not have to clock in and clock out. That's a dream that I have. And I'm taking the steps, small steps, courageous steps without having all of the answers. And I'm making the next decision and then the next decision. And it is freaking scary, guys. It is scary. I'm literally like transferring my pension. I am doing all of the things that I've dreamed of doing, but it takes a lot of courage. But more likely, it takes the desire and the decision. And now I have to make good on that decision. I have to do the things that I say I'm going to do, even when it's scary, even when I don't feel like it, because I've made the decision. I want to see that desire come to fruition, and I want to see that desire for you. So in the comments, I would love for you to share with me, like, what would your desire be? Is it a rank? Is it a lifestyle? Is it a travel dream trip? Is it, to be able to quit your job? Or is it literally just to be able to have like something for yourself and you are, wanting to start a business, but you've been too scared to, and you really just want something for you? Maybe it's that. Like I don't care. There's no judgment. We all have our dreams, and mine have started small and they keep growing because I keep trusting God and he keeps bringing them into my heart's desire, right? So tell me in the comments what your dreams are. I would love to celebrate that with you. And recognizing it is number one. Number two is just acknowledging it and being brave enough to share it, because that's going to start the little spark inside of you. Okay. I hope you guys all have the most amazing rest of your day. I will be here next week where we're going to talk about the do. And if there is something that you really, really, really want me to train on, guys, just send me a DM or put in the comments, because I want to make this for you. Everything that I do here is for you, out of service and love for you, because I truly, truly want you guys to live your life to the fullest. I don't want you to have regrets. I want you to be able to follow what those desires are, recognize those desires. I want to equip you into fully stepping into the life that you are meant for without anything holding you back. Okay, including outside circumstances and inside of your heart and your brain. And so let's do this together. I hope you have the most amazing rest of your night. And I'll see you guys here next Tuesday at 7:30 Central. If you haven't already, make sure that you're taking a screenshot, share this in your stories. Let people know that you are tuning in inside of the Better Club, so that you can become the best version of yourselves, do better, be better, and have better in life and in business, so that we can allow people to see that you are on the personal development track, that you are taking your business seriously, and that you are ready to make a difference. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.